Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You see, every day we wake up and step into a world that's ready to test our patience, our belief, and our strength. Life doesn't hand you success, it demands that you earn it. And the greatest battle you will ever fight is not out there in the marketplace. It's right here in your mind. The world will always whisper doubts into your ear, but it is your own voice that decides whether you rise or retreat. So today, I want to share with you 9 things you must tell yourself every single day, not to impress the world, but to remind yourself of who you are and what you're capable of. Let me tell you something powerful. You are enough. You always have been. You don't need another degree, another car, another title, or another person's approval to validate your worth. You were born complete. Society has done a brilliant job of convincing you that you are missing something, that if you just buy this, achieve that, or look a certain way, then you'll be enough. But the truth, you are not a work in progress trying to become valuable. You are valuable, and because you are valuable, you keep progressing. Every single day, you are being tested by social media, by peers, by the invisible scoreboard of life that measures your worth through likes, promotions, and possessions. And so you start to believe that you're not doing enough, that you're not being enough. But let me ask you, who set that standard? Who decided that success means driving a certain car, wearing a certain watch, or living in a certain neighborhood? You see, when you start measuring yourself by someone else's ruler, you will always come up short. You are not behind, you are becoming. Every challenge, every setback, every sleepless night has been crafting something extraordinary inside you. You might not see it yet, but growth is a slow burn. The oak tree doesn't apologize for starting as an acorn. Neither should you. You are not defined by your past mistakes, by your failures, or by what people said about you when you were at your lowest. Those were chapters, not the entire book. Every version of you has been essential to the masterpiece that is still unfolding. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you scroll through other people's highlight reels, look yourself in the mirror and say, "I am enough." Say it until it silences every voice of doubt. Because the moment you truly believe that, the world will stop trying to convince you otherwise. Confidence is not arrogance, it's acceptance. It's standing tall in your truth and saying, "I belong here. I deserve this. I am capable." Remember this, the world does not reward those who need validation. It rewards those who already know their value. You listen carefully. Your dreams are not a mistake. They are not too big, too bold, or too unrealistic. They were placed in you for a reason. The size of your dream is not meant to intimidate you. It's meant to stretch you. When people tell you that your dreams are too much, what they're really saying is, your vision threatens their comfort zone. But here's the truth: small minds will always call big dreams impossible. And if you spend your life waiting for their approval, you will die with your potential still inside you. The world has a strange way of labeling dreamers as crazy, until the dream works. Then suddenly everyone calls it genius. So don't seek validation for your dream. Seek execution. Dreams are not achieved through inspiration alone, they are built on discipline, persistence, and courage. Every successful person you admire once stood where you are. Misunderstood, doubted, underestimated. The difference is, they didn't stop believing. Your dream is your compass. It's the whisper of your soul reminding you that you were built for more. But a dream without action is just a wish. Every single day, do one thing that brings you closer to it. Don't wait for the perfect time, make the time. Don't wait for resources, start with resourcefulness. The best businesses, inventions, and movements in history began with nothing but belief and sweat. Understand this, your dream is not just about you. It's about the lives you'll touch, the people you'll inspire, the legacy you'll leave behind. When you chase your dream, you give others permission to chase theirs. So hold your vision tight, protect it from negativity, guard it from mediocrity, and every morning remind yourself, my dream is valid. Because once you believe that, you stop asking for permission and start making progress. Too many people die waiting for the perfect moment. They wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect conditions. But perfection is a myth, a trap designed to keep you stuck. Progress, on the other hand, is messy, uncomfortable, and real. It's where growth happens. You see, the pursuit of perfection is really just fear in disguise. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. But let me tell you, no masterpiece was ever created without mistakes. The first draft of every great novel was terrible. The first version of every billion-dollar business looked foolish to someone. What matters is that they started. Every day you have a choice to make excuses or to make progress, and the moment you choose progress, you start building momentum. Momentum creates confidence, and confidence builds success. It's not about doing it perfectly, it's about doing it consistently. Don't be afraid to fail publicly. Be afraid to remain the same privately. Every attempt teaches you something. Every setback gives you data. Every stumble builds resilience. That's how winners think. So instead of saying, "I'll start when I'm ready," start now and get ready as you go. Because growth doesn't happen in planning, it happens in doing. You can edit a bad page, but you can't edit a blank one. Tell yourself today, "I will make progress." It doesn't have to be dramatic. Small steps taken daily compound into extraordinary results. 1% better each day is 37 times better in a year. That's not motivation, that's mathematics. So forget perfection, embrace progress. Because perfection is an illusion, but progress is a decision if you want to change your life. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. No one is coming. Not your boss, not your parents, not the government. The day you realize that you are fully responsible for your own life is the day you become free. Responsibility is not a burden, it's power. Too often, people blame circumstances, luck, or other people for where they are. But as long as you blame something external, you give up control. You hand your power to the very thing you despise. Responsibility means owning both your mistakes and your potential. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. That's where true leadership begins, with self-leadership. Before you manage people, manage yourself. Before you demand discipline from others, demonstrate it in your own actions. When you start saying, "I am responsible," your language changes. "I didn't have time" becomes "I didn't make time." "I can't" becomes "I won't." And that's a powerful shift, because now you're no longer a victim of circumstance. You're the architect of your destiny. Taking responsibility doesn't mean life gets easier. It means you get stronger. You begin to design your days, your habits, and your mindset around success. You stop reacting and start creating. So wake up every morning and remind yourself, "I am responsible for my life." Because the truth is, life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you're willing to work for. And when you own that truth, you stop chasing excuses and start chasing excellence in the 21st century. Ignorance is a choice. Everything you need to know, every skill, every strategy, every lesson is accessible. The only question is, are you willing to learn? The most successful people in the world are not the ones who know everything. They're the ones who never stop learning. The moment you think you know it all, you start dying. Learning keeps you adaptable, relevant, and sharp. You see, talent is overrated. Curiosity is the real advantage. Curiosity makes you ask questions others overlook. It keeps you humble enough to listen and bold enough to try. When you stop learning, you stop leading. Every challenge you face is simply an invitation to learn something new. If your business is failing, learn business strategy. If your communication is weak, study storytelling. If you don't understand money, learn finance. Everything is learnable, but not everything is easy. Learning requires humility, patience, and repetition. Don't let your ego block your education. Don't say, "That's not my thing." Make it your thing. You can learn anything if you commit to it. So every morning, tell yourself, "I can learn anything." Because the person who learns faster adapts faster, and the one who adapts faster wins. In a world that's constantly evolving, learning isn't a hobby, it's survival. Listen to me carefully. Every single person who has achieved greatness has walked through failure. Every one of them. The difference is, they refused to let the setback define them. See, life will test you not to break you, but to build you. Setbacks are not signs that you're on the wrong path. They're signals that you're being refined for something bigger. When life knocks you down, and it will, don't stay there. Get up, wipe your face, learn the lesson, because what breaks most people is not the fall, it's the decision not to rise again. The pain you feel today is not punishment, it's preparation. Every challenge, every rejection, every disappointment is shaping your character, sharpening your focus, and strengthening your resolve. In business, in relationships, in life, failure is feedback, it's data. It tells you what didn't work so you can get closer to what will. Stop calling it failure. Call it education. The world only remembers your comebacks, not your breakdowns. Think of every great story you've ever admired, from Steve Jobs to Nelson Mandela. Their greatness wasn't in their success, it was in their resilience. They had every reason to quit, but they didn't. You see, your setback is your story. Your pain becomes your platform. The struggle you're facing now is the testimony that will inspire someone else tomorrow. But only if you keep moving forward. So the next time life hits you, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because the universe doesn't waste pain. Every wound is wisdom in disguise. Tell yourself every day, this setback is my setup for a comeback. And when you rise, rise with power, rise with perspective, rise with purpose. The 3 H's, hunger, humility, and honesty, are the foundation of greatness. Lose one and the structure collapses. Hunger keeps you driven. It's that internal fire that refuses to settle, that voice that whispers, there's more in me. Hunger pushes you to wake up early, stay up late, and do what others won't. But hunger alone can make you reckless. That's why it must be balanced with humility. Humility grounds you. It reminds you that no matter how high you climb, you're still human. It keeps your ego in check and your mind open to learning. The moment you think you've arrived, you stop growing. The higher you go, the more humble you must become. And then there's honesty, the anchor. Be honest with yourself about your weaknesses, your mistakes, and your motives. Too many people lose themselves chasing success because they stop telling themselves the truth. You can fool others, but you can't fool the mirror. Stay hungry for progress. Stay humble in victory. Stay honest in the journey. Because real success is not measured by what you have. It's measured by who you become. If you can master these 3, you'll never lose your way no matter how far you go. So tell yourself daily, I will stay hungry, humble, and honest. Because that combination is unstoppable. You can make more money, but you can never make more time. Every second you waste on meaningless distractions is a second you'll never get back. Time is the ultimate currency of life. Spend it wisely. Most people act like they'll live forever. They postpone their dreams, delay their growth, and waste their days scrolling through other people's lives. But the truth is, time doesn't pause for anyone. The clock is always ticking. You have 24 hours like everyone else, but the difference between winners and wishers is how they use it. Winners treat their time like treasure. They say no more often than they say yes. They eliminate what doesn't serve their vision. They protect their focus. Your time should be spent where your purpose is. Every conversation, every task, every person in your circle should add value or growth. If they don't, you're not being loyal, you're being limited. Schedule your priorities instead of prioritizing your schedule. Don't just be busy, be productive. Activity doesn't always equal progress. When you start valuing your time, everything changes: your relationships, your habits, your mindset. You stop chasing validation and start chasing vision. Tell yourself daily, my time is precious. Because the truth is, life is not short, it's just poorly managed. Discipline beats motivation every single time. Motivation is temporary. It fades when life gets hard. But discipline, that's the muscle that carries you when the feelings disappear. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up, when the world feels heavy, when progress seems invisible. But that's exactly when it matters most. Success belongs to those who show up, even when they don't want to. Every champion you've ever admired in business, sport, or life became great not because they were always inspired, but because they were consistent. They did what needed to be done day after day, long after the excitement wore off. Showing up builds trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-belief. You start to see yourself as reliable, capable, unstoppable. And that mindset creates momentum. So when the alarm goes off and your mind says, not today, remember your why. Remember the reason you started. Because showing up once won't change your life, but showing up every day will. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Do the work even when it's uncomfortable. That's how transformation happens, not in bursts of energy, but in consistent effort. So look yourself in the mirror every morning and say, today I will show up. Because winners don't wait for perfect conditions, they create them. So, when you wake up tomorrow, don't just check your phone. Check yourself. Look in the mirror and speak life into your reflection. Because success is not about luck, it's about language. The language you use with yourself every single day will define your future. So speak power, speak purpose, and speak progress. Remember this, the world doesn't respond to what you wish for, it responds to what you believe you deserve.